Hello everyone. I have here a new Nautilus, and if you saw my last video, I was wearing the same shirt, but I changed my hat. It's the same day, so I'm doing two in the same day, but I put a different hat on so I could differentiate these when I post them. Anyway, wasn't that interesting? I'll play this guitar for starters. Oof. All right. This baby is made with Sitka spruce and Cocobolo. Cocobolo, Sitka spruce. Sitka spruce is, I believe, considered by a lot of people to be sort of a second tier wood. And I'm here to tell you that ain't true. First of all, Sitka trees tend to be really big. And what that means is that each tree yields a great deal of material. They also have a really long bole, the trunk before the branches start. There's a big long section that doesn't have any limbs coming out of it. And those limbs, they don't just stick on the outside of the tree. They are rooted down into the wood. So they create defects and shadows and knots and stuff in the wood and make the musical wood yield on many trees a lot less. So Sitka has this big advantage of being for each tree you fell, there's likely to be a lot more musical wood in it. And then, so I got this from my friend Rob Goldberg, also a very excellent luthier, who lives up in Alaska, and he got these rounds of Sitka, and he's hand split them and expertly milled them. And this is the third tree. I've tried a number of his trees, but this one, it's just knockout wood. I could build with this wood for the rest of my life. If like all other trees ceased to exist, I would be very sad, but I could still just build with this stuff. It's wonderful wood. Really equal to anything I've built with. And Cocobolo is one of my favorite woods, as we know. I never get on these videos and say, I built this guitar out of wood that I really hate. I realize that. So maybe my universal admiration of the materials I use diminishes perhaps the impact of what I'm saying, but I mean it. Like, I don't build guitars out of wood that I don't love. Like, I'm just not going to do it. It's hard enough to build a guitar. It's hard to build a guitar. It's even harder to make one that sounds good. And why fight uphill? Like, I just want wood that's already sort of going to help me make a good guitar. So these particular woods were very cooperative. Cocobolo is a lot like Brazilian rosewood, I think, tonally. I think that it has a reputation. It's heavy. It's heavier than Brazilian rosewood in general. And so I think a lot of times guitars get built with it, and they get built at the same thickness that someone would build, say, an East Indian rosewood guitar, and the tops and the back and sides are going to weigh, a third or half again as much as the other rosewoods. So Cocobolo has to be treated according to its properties. So this is a much thinner back than I would use for an East Indian guitar. And Cocobolo can take it because if it's seasoned well and it's like a good solid piece, it's quite strong. It's like metal. It's really crazy beautiful wood. Working with it is like, when you scrape it, it doesn't care what direction you go. Its grain is very even, and it's like scraping really cold butter. It's really gratifying wood to work with. And even though many luthiers are allergic to it, I am not at this point, and I take precautions, and I always wear a mask when I'm working with it and stuff like that. But it is it is a top tier building material, and it creates guitars with probably the best sustain of any other guitars. African Blackwood and Cocobolo produce just really amazing sustain. So I love that. I love sustain. This has it's pretty much the same thing I do all the time. I've done a few tweaks. Like, actually, I've done one tweak to the inside, which I am very in favor of. And I'll tell you what it is. Why not? It's that my particular bracing pattern is radial, and I put a little cross piece. There's a brace that goes up here, and there's a brace that goes right here, and I put a little cross piece in here because the string tension can push down the front of the guitar, and I get a little dimple there. I don't think it's anything that's structural. It's cosmetic. I don't like how it looks. So I've always put a little cross piece there. And this time I just made it wider and thinner. And that's what I did that was different. Okay. So I'm not making radical changes to each guitar. I'm doing little things. This requires that I build a lot of guitars to end up with a useful body of knowledge, but that's the way I work. So I think it pays off. I built a lot of guitars, and they're just like this, like with just a couple of little differences. Where the Nautilus is now, I'm just getting really, really consistent results, and I love them. So, and people seem to love them too. So that's great. I am very proud of that. The process is somewhat arduous, but it's worth it when you give a guitar to somebody and they absolutely fall in love with it. Let's see what else. This guitar is going to Australia, so I decided I usually use mother of pearl for my little gewgaws here, which are sort of my one little decorative element I put on the guitar, and for the sides. But I didn't want to have to deal with the paperwork of declaring international shipping of shell, so we used celluloid dots, and my name is inlaid in celluloid, and like an ivoroid material. And then I just used ebony bound with maple for my gewgaws, and I think it's really cool. Like, it's kind of understated, and you may have noticed I love understatement, except when I'm talking. I know I talk too much, but I get excited. This is mahogany for the neck, and a cool thing is this guitar has an elevated fingerboard. It doesn't have the sound hole in the middle, obviously. And I've had, people are like, well, don't you get scratches on the top? And, well, yeah, of course you can scratch the top, but there's a little bit of extra height because of this elevation. It's actually, let's see, well, it's 7/16 here down to about 1/4 of an inch here. So it's about 1/4 of an inch higher where most of your playing does. So I don't usually put finger or pick guards on these. I think pick guards are yucky anyway. I'll play a little bit more, and then I'll get out of here and say, Andy, thank you for the order. I'm glad you picked this set. I think this is a really beautiful, colorful set of Brazilian or of Cocobolo. It's nice because the back and the sides are cut from the same board, so you have like really good color match. And this wood is just it's stunning. It's just I love it. I'll play. I'll play a little bit more. I don't know what it'll be. Let's do this. Let's play this. Hear that long ring? I mean, it's just still going. I love that. And though even though with that sustain, that decay, I think it still kind of works for a busy sort of swampy piece like that. So whatever that piece was, cool. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for ordering these guitars and giving me the best job in the world. See you soon.